the best form of advertisement that everybody uses that is free is social media. Wish everybody would do videos because I think one, it's important for the industry. Two, it's important for the person to build their own brand. But you got to find your own niche. You got to find your own style and what works for you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Born to Tint podcast. I'm Ricky. Glad to be here with my big brother, Josh. What's going on, everyone? We had a very fun conversation today with Caden August, S3 Window Tint, giant on Instagram, TikTok. You've definitely seen his videos. Check it out.
He did that yesterday to me, too. I was like, and then I looked over. I was like, oh, he got me.
Somebody might have.
Yeah.
It sounds like someone just did.
Oh, damn it. I did it again. All right. Well, I've been looking forward to this conversation because I've watched you from afar. I've seen the social media and how it's gone. And I've always just wanted to sit down and just chat with you. But like seeing your growth on social media, and now you have your own shop, correct?
I do. Yeah,
Sick.
It's been a year and a half
That's
that
awesome.
I've been in. And a year and a half that flew by too, man. Like it was October and I was like, damn, already a year? Just like that. And now I'm about to move to a bigger shop now. The shop I'm in now is like 30 minutes from the house, and you have traffic in the morning, traffic coming home, always terrible.
Yep.
So the shop I'm about to move to, it's bigger. So now I can get 3 or 4 vehicles back there. Now I want to get employees back there. Basically, I'm ready to build a business because right now I have a business, sure, but I'm still busting my ass every day working. But now I'm ready to get some employees, build a business, scale up, and then just try to go as high as I can.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What part of Texas are you in?
Fort Worth.
Okay.
Fort Worth. So I love the Fort Worth. It's funny because I get a lot of customers from Dallas. So it's always like Fort Worth and Dallas are two completely different areas. Like Fort Worth, you got cowboy boots, cowboy hats, everything Cowboys. Dallas, you have the city, the nightlife out there that's crazy, the big tall skyscrapers. So it's always, you're either from Fort Worth and hate Dallas, or you're from Dallas and hate Fort Worth. There's just no in between.
That's funny. I spent 8 years in Texas. So I spent 6 down in Fort Hood, and then I had in-laws that were up in like the Little like McKinney area.
Yeah.
When I got out, I was living in Prosper, like just north of McKinney, and we opened a location in McKinney for a little bit. But as someone that came in from the outside, I just kind of saw it all as one big giant city. And it was just like, but really there's like, 100 cities right there? It's not.
Yeah, so I'm from Arlington, born and raised
Okay.
in Arlington, which is in between Dallas and Fort Worth. So, but when I come to things like this and people say, where are you based out of? Where are you from? I just say Dallas. Everybody knows Dallas.
Yeah.
You say Dallas, it's easy.
It's a big ass metroplex. I don't think
It
you
is,
realize
man.
how big it is. It's crazy.
It's a nutty thing. There's so many people, and then everybody's moving there. There's a ton of people from California moving to DFW. Why DFW specifically, I have no clue. But it's everything's blowing up down there, which is good for a small business like myself that's trying to grow, because then you get people that just come in and more people, more business, and it just goes up.
Yeah, no. I was lucky enough to go to Fort Worth a year and a half ago. One of the Solar Guards conventions they had down there, they had it at DFW, and that was a fun time. Like,
yeah.
It was fun down there. We found, my sister was with me. The last day we found a speakeasy that we went into and just grabbed a drink before we had to hop on the flight. And like everything down there, like there was within walking distance you could have a fun time.
Yeah, that's how, especially the certain areas. I like, sometimes like if me and my girlfriend have a date night, we'll go downtown Fort Worth. We'll go to a steakhouse we like down there, Capitol Grill, which is phenomenal. You go to Capitol Grill. After Capitol Grill, like you said, you can go find a speakeasy, go hit a speakeasy, get some drinks. I like to go to cigar lounges too. They have really cool cigar lounges that are sometimes a speakeasy. You walk in, you see what is that, a humidor?
Yeah.
You walk in and see that.
Yeah. No, and totally could understand the whole just saying from Dallas. Like for us, where's our business located in? Henderson. But when people are where you from, I'm never saying Henderson. If I say Henderson, Nevada, I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Las Vegas. And it's like, and then instant, it's like, oh, you live on the strip. It's, no.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere near it.
Like coming to Vegas, that's how I would like think about Vegas. Like we were in the casino gambling the other night, and there was this couple there. And they're like, "Yeah, we live here in Vegas." I'm like, "Okay, so how does that work? Like, you live in Vegas. How often do you come to the Strip and gamble?"
Never.
Really?
Yeah, no. Like once you get off the Strip, and like, it's just a normal city.
Yeah.
It used to be really weird because everything would be open 24/7. That chilled out. I don't know how long ago.
Pandemic.
Yeah. Like even the grocery stores would be open 24/7, and now they actually close at night and stuff. But I would say the one culture shock I had going to Texas was the first time I went to a bar in Texas down by Fort Hood, and it's like 2 a.m, and they call last call or whatever time it was, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like lights are coming on, and they're like, oh, we gotta get out of here. They're closing. I'm like, bars close? Because that's the one thing here that I think is a little unique. Even the local spots are open 24/7.
Yeah, unfortunately, I found that out last night, man. Like, we were in the casino last night, and I swear I looked down at my watch. It was 12:30. Looked back, and it was like 3:30 in the morning. I was like, "Good Lord, man!
Yeah,
how does that
The
happen?"
nighttime here will definitely grab you if you're not used to that.
It like never turns off.
No.
Everything's going, and like you said, it was the same thing with grocery stores back home. Like the local Walmart, 24 hours, you can go in there whenever and do what you need. Now, because you said the pandemic, that shut everything down. So now everything has a closing time. Same thing with the bars too. That's what I swear to you, the best day of the year that we just had, when time falls back.
Yeah.
You go out to the bar. Y'all have heard of the Stockyards?
Yeah.
In Fort Worth. So that's where me and a lot of my buddies go. Go out to the Stockyards. It's 1:59. Nobody's saying last call. 2 o'clock hits and it rolls back to 1 a.m. So you have an extra hour to drink.
Oh, that's cool.
That was always fun. So
That's funny.
Yeah.
That'd be like that. So that I'm assuming that that's a night that like bars are,
yeah, they're pretty slammed.
because everyone knows we got an extra
Extra hour to turn it on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something we wouldn't experience here just because their bars don't close.
Yeah, because I mean, gambling on the Strip, no. So on the outer ring, there is a bunch of casinos that's same property, station casinos. Those are where locals go, because you can actually find a $5 table if you just want to go have some fun. Like you come out to the Strip, there are places that do it have $5, but the majority of the big guys, it's all 10, 15, and then when you get late into the night, it's 25. So if you want to gamble,
Oh, really?
you better be rolling deep, depending on what major casino you want to go into.
Yeah.
So, and then everything's double down here. Like if I go to any of the neighboring casinos around the edge, like it's still going to be expensive, but it's nothing like going down to the Strip, especially like food wise too. Like steakhouses down here are at least 25% to 30% more than the ones in the outskirts, and the ones in the outskirts are still high end steakhouses. It's just not on the Strip.
That's just Vegas, the Strip.
Yeah, you gotta imagine the rent in those buildings.
Oh, yeah.
So
I didn't even
much
think
more.
about that.
Yeah. So, but we are spoiled in the fact that, like, I am typically not coming down here to go eat. But if I'm going to take my wife out for Valentine's or birthday or something, we're spoiled in the fact that we've got a laundry list of world-class restaurants and then the shows, too. So, like, even high school out here, for us out here, like, going to prom is, like, probably get a limo, go to a fancy restaurant somewhere on the Strip or something, maybe make it back to your school to do photos for the prom, and then you end up going to like Blue Man Group or a show on the Strip, which that's very unique to growing up here, I feel.
Yeah, we did the Blue Man Group last year. And that was cool. I didn't know I heard of them. I knew what they were, but I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know they weren't going to talk at all. They just like look at you like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Kind of weirds you out because that's the only color you see is in their eyes. Everything else is blue.
Yeah.
So, but that was really cool.
So moving into bigger shops, scaling the business. If I could ask, I saw what I saw. Obviously, I've seen you move up through your social media.
Mhm.
What got you into tinting to begin with? Like, and then also obviously the question after that, the social media thing, because that grabbed hold and that caught fire.
Yeah, which is weird. Before I got into window tint, I knew nothing about it. Like wasn't in the family before me. Nobody I ever knew did window tint. One of my best friends, his name's Hayden. He would always get his truck tinted, and I worked at a Tex-Mex restaurant in Arlington. I was a bar back, and I cut my hand open pretty deep. I didn't want to go back working there, so the shop that he would get his vehicle tinted at, I just applied there with nothing. I knew nothing. I thought window tint was just make your vehicle darker and that's it, which I think a lot of people think that. because that's that's part, like some of the stuff I do in videos. Now everybody knows ceramic tint, but they don't really know what ceramic tint does. You know, how much it protects you, your vehicle. So I always, every now and then, you know, I do the videos where it's like satisfying ASMRs. I try to do videos where I'm teaching people how to tint who maybe want to get into it, because the industry's blowing up like crazy left and right. I mean, you see all these, like over at the Fusion booth, talking to kids that are like 19, 20 years old. They're like, I just started my own business. And it's really cool seeing those guys telling me that they started their business off of me and my videos, which is another reason why I did my own business, because I would have people DM me and they were like, hey man, just want to let you know, thank you for everything you've done. I started my own company because of you, which is cool. And then I'm kind of sitting there and I'm like, damn, these people are starting their own business and I don't even have my own business. So then I just kind of threw myself in the fire, told myself, you got to figure it out. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I knew nothing about starting a business. I've just been Googling everything. How do I legally do it? Which is a big thing for me, because I don't want to jump any steps and then IRS is coming after me or something like that, which scares me. But yeah.
The content creation, starting to put it out the way you were, because I don't remember the first time I saw a video. When did you start doing it? Because I know I started seeing your stuff, I mean, all over the place. Especially, I feel like TikTok. Is TikTok one of the ones that you blew up first, or was it in tandem?
TikTok's the biggest one,
where
I have the most following, and I think where I have the biggest international following, which is crazy. That's why I like coming to Vegas, because there's so many people from different countries, especially at this event. So I'm sitting over there and there's people that barely speak a lick of English, and they're coming up there and they're just telling me how big of fans they are and how much they watch my videos. From like, one guy was out in Peru, just all across the world, which is nuts. But it's funny, my first video was a PPF video, and I know it was on a gray Model Y, and that video got like 2,000 views, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So I was like, well, let's do another one, see if it does it again. And that one got like 6,000. And I was like, okay, that one got more views. And then I just kept going, and then it just went out of nowhere. Editing? I do everything. Okay. Yeah. So I'm the only, I do everything at my shop. I'm the only person that works there. So I tint all the windows, all the PPF. I just scaled up to flat glass too, thanks to my good buddy, Connor's dad, Ray. So he's gotten me in to a lot of jobs, which has been great. But it's been tough trying to run a business and social media, because it's like, I love doing the videos, but that can't be the most important thing to me. Because if the business starts taking, or if the videos start going ahead of the business, then something's wrong, because I'm not pushing the business and like where I make my revenue from. So that's been a big learning curve for me, is kind of taking the back seat on videos and post when I can and edit when I can and just run the business. But I've gotten pretty good at setting my phone up, getting a quick little 30-minute video, taking 30 minutes to edit, and then it's done. So record to edit, I'd say probably the most time I ever takes an hour doing everything. So.
Yeah, that's a lot. You know, we're spoiled in the fact that we were able to have the business, but then all of a sudden start realizing like, all right, the next step is we need to start doing more. And that's, the start of the podcast was our at least constant trickle of one reel a day. Yeah. We can get consistent with that. And then we've been adding on past that. And thankfully I was able to convert one of my guys already into my camera and editor. And like, he's been working with us for 17 years, I think, right about that. So he knows the industry. So he knows what to look for or what angles to go after something. So I didn't have to do anything beyond that. So we got real lucky in that point. And then we started seeing the results of actually being consistent. It's like, all right, this is the new Yellow Pages. My dad loved the Yellow Pages because that was like, you had to be in the top listing because that's how you got business. And now it's like, no, the companies that aren't taking the social media thing seriously and start doing stuff now are going to get left in the dust by everyone else that's already pushing out their organic content. Because then you have the entire library. It's like, oh, I can look back. This guy's been doing it for years. So that trust factors, you can't beat that.
Yeah, that's one thing. People always ask me, how do I advertise my business? And the best form of advertisement that everybody uses that is free is social media. And another thing that's really cool about the videos is, even though some of the customers, I have repeat customers, which are great, I love them, but some customers that are coming in, like I recently had a guy come from Nebraska all the way to Fort Worth, Texas, which is awesome. I honestly blows my mind because I don't know if I would do that, but shout out to him. And he drove all the way from Nebraska, and he just came in there and he he didn't act, but he felt like he already knew me, which is cool with the videos because it gains the trust of the customers. I try to be as honest and transparent in the videos as I possibly can be, and I think that helps build trust. But that's the biggest thing with social media. It's the best form of advertisement for everything. I've seen videos of y'all's podcast, and I've always wanted to do a podcast. I did one a long time ago, but it's cool. Like the guys I did it with weren't in the industry, so to sit down with two guys that are in the industry that I work in is cool. So
we're glad to get you on, man. We've been watching what you've been doing for a minute, man. Like it's really fun to me to meet people that are newer to the industry because we've been doing it a long time, but found that niche into it and then crushed it on the social side. And I'm always like interested in like, I don't know, just because I know how much it, and we're not even getting the kind of views you're getting. I don't think we're anywhere near. Because I would take your videos and send them to him like, dude, we gotta get crazy on social media. Like, look at the views these are getting. So your editing style, as you've been doing it, I've seen a repeat of some stuff. Like once something works, are you like kind of learning from that and mimicking it? And
yeah, so like my editing style, I know, this is where I've gotten good at it. Like when I sit down and tint a window, I know how I'm going to edit the video. So like each little spray that I do, I know that each little spray is going to be cut up into one little half a second clip, and there's 7 of those. And then I take the scrubbing part of it, and I know that's going to be a quick little clip. And then the squeegee. So everything that I sit down and do, I know how it's going to look on my edit machine. So yeah, I've gotten super easy. It's gotten a lot easier the more I do it.
So I know you initially started doing it while you were working for someone else as an installer. With you splitting off and doing your own thing, is that relationship still good? Or was that? I mean, we don't have to talk about this. If you
with the previous company.
Yeah.
I think so. I saw them earlier, and we talked, and they're good people too.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's good to hear because for us, we've had like anytime I bring someone new on, if I'm training someone, it's like, what do you want out of this? Like, do you have like? Do you just want to be an installer? Or you're looking over this. We had a guy recently that we trained for 3 years, and like his goal was always, because his dad has a mobile car wash company. His goal always was he wanted to either be an add-on or wanted to go do his own thing. So when that time came, it was like, dude, thank you for your hard work for the past 3 years. If you need anything anytime, don't hesitate to call. And it's like I get to use him now, where it's like he's getting his feet underneath him, and it's like, hey, you need some work, I have an overbooked day, or I have a job that's got to be done at a crazy time, and now I get to use him as a subcontractor, and he knows exactly how our company operates. So when he gets plugged in, there is no like, hey, this is the manager, he's going to cut this and do this for you. Like, it's already just, he gets pulled in and gets thrown right into the mix, and all the guys are all still friends, and they also work together amazingly. So was really beneficial. Instead of being like, well, I trained you, you can't go help, go do your own thing. Like, can't expect someone just to be like, well, no, I'm just going to work for you constantly. Like,
Yeah, I've learned that you never want to burn a bridge. That doesn't get you anywhere, especially when you come to events like SEMA and you see everybody in the industry, no matter what they do. A burned bridge is never going to go anywhere. So no matter the situation, I never want to do that.
That was kind of where I was asking that question, because publicly seeing it from the outside and then you do your own thing was like, oh man, you were generating a lot of traffic for those guys doing the social media stuff too. So that's why I was interested. So it's good to know that that's how that ended.
Well, I still see videos though obviously the videos that you did for him are still on his social, so it's not like you're still not generating for him technically.
Yeah, I do know. There's a lot of, now I don't know the actual people that do it, but there are fake accounts out there that take my videos and put them under different business names, which drives me nuts, man.
What's the original company name?
Glacier.
Oh, okay. So I've seen those ones. All right. So I was going to share the majority of the ones I'm seeing. I hope those weren't people.
Yeah, but it's cool. Like a lot of my customers have, because I didn't know how it was going to be when I did my own business. I didn't know if like, man, are people going to follow me over here? Or are they going there because it's close or what it is? But I've had a lot of customers that followed me to my company now, and then work on their vehicles, and then word of mouth too. Y'all know it's huge in the industry.
Yeah.
So take care of those customers. They go tell 2 of their buddies, and then they go tell 5 of their buddies, and it just goes from there.
Yeah, it's exponential growth when it comes to referrals when you're talking about marketing.
Yeah.
Like if 1 becomes 2 and 2 becomes 4, you're not paying anything for that. You've already spent the expense if you're spending any money on marketing.
Yeah, your customer acquisition cost it goes down. Yeah, you spent say $50 on that person, but now that person is now bled off into those 2, and all right, now that just split into 3 people paid for that 1 lead, and then it just goes through. And you know, the quality of your work and earning the trust of your customer. I mean, our business is still 60%
Yeah,
referrals.
it's between 50 to 60
Yeah.
in any given month is referral or repeat.
That's what I think. Now, I think the one bad thing about our industry is that there are some people that are like, I need to take this certain amount of customers away from this shop. I need to bring everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, you opened your shop, 4 miles away from mine. Well, there goes 50% of my customers.
That was what prompted the question, because that's how the entire industry was 10, 15 years ago.
Oh,
Like most people had that attitude. And luckily, I think the industry has matured, and most people now seem to have the attitude that like, hey, let's all work together. Like the people only thinking tint is just to make your car dark. Like, and how many people understand that we can hold heat out of their home or create privacy on the home or security film? And it's like, there's so much opportunity to just grow the pie instead of fight over it. Like, it's just wasted energy. Any energy I'm spending thinking about hurting somebody else is energy I'm wasting that I could be spending on improving my business. Like, it's just a complete waste of time.
Yeah, that's where because I've only been in the industry for 7.5, 8 years. And when I first started doing videos, this is where I learned about the industry. I would get some people who have been in the industry for 20 plus years direct message me or somehow get my phone number, and they text me like, hey man, I just want to let you know you're not doing this right. This is wrong. You need to be doing it this way. And I would never respond to them, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't get under my skin. But at the same time, I think that's where I kind of sit there and I look at those messages and I'm like, all right, this is what I don't want to do. Like, I don't want to be this guy texting me saying I'm doing it wrong. And because that's one thing I put in my videos too. Like, recently I did a hand cut video on how to do a quarter. It was like a 2011 Camry. And I think in the video, I always say like, look, this is the way I do it.
Yep.
Not telling you this is the right way, because I'm sure all 3 of us tint a window a different way.
100%.
So there's
It's an
always
art, man.
always different ways to do stuff. So there's no right or wrong reason. I mean, I guess there could be a wrong way to tint a window, but
Well, it depends on what the outcome of the finished outcome of the finished product. Like,
yeah.
if it's not an acceptable install, like if there's dirt and there's creases, like yes, there's something you did in there wrong. But how you get from point A to point B can be completely different. If we install next to each other, we look completely different. But we still learned from our dad to begin with, and then we were influenced by the other installers. And then I was really influenced by when I started competing, by going to the competitions and watching guys install. It's like, I've never seen it done like that, but obviously you know what you're doing. You made the finals. So who am I to say that like, oh, I wouldn't do it like that because of this? Well, no, obviously you're doing it like that for a reason, because you just made the finals at a competition that's got like 100 plus people.
yeah.
So like, if I tell all my guys, like, I'm going to show you the way I do it, it's the same thing. And Jordan's had to help correct me on this when we started doing like with the academy, and when like he would instruct or I would instruct, and not noticing that I was wording it. And it's like, we're almost kind of arguing, but it's like, no, we might do it different. There might be 100 ways to do this, but this is how I've found my success. And this is what I'm going to show you. And then I'm going to encourage you, after you've done this, watch other people. See what feels comfortable. The main thing that matters is the quality install at the end. That's the only thing that matters. How you do it, what tools you use, I could care less. As long as it's a quality install, that's what matters. We have the same finished product.
Yeah, and y'all can tell me if I have the right mind process on this, because I do want to eventually get into like a window tint class or a teaching clinic up at the shop. And my thought process that I have in my head was like, just take the time to teach everybody the basics on how to tint a window, and then after that, let them develop what works best for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I think that's how I was really taught. I got the basics down, and once I did that, I realized, well, if I do this, can I tint the window a little quicker, but my quality doesn't drop off, and just kind of go about it that way. But that is something I want to do in the future, is a class.
No, that's spot on. like when I'm training someone for like our shop, as I'm training them, it's like I'm having you do these steps to begin with, and we'll see what the result is. But like if I had to, when we first started doing it too, it's like all of a sudden I'd have to go install because I wasn't completely out of that seat yet, and all of a sudden I would install. I have to tell guys, do what I say, don't do what I do. What you're seeing me do right now is I'm probably skipping about a third of what I just told you, but that's because I did that to begin with to understand different things I'm doing, to be able to know when I can take out a certain step and speed myself up and be more efficient. Because as an installer, if you're just working as an installer, it's performance based. So yeah, you want to be faster, but you cannot sacrifice the quality. It took me a long time to get fast. So don't expect that you're just going to instantly be like, know the basics and then just be able to go from there. But I tell all the guys I train, like, you don't have to do it the way I do it, but like, I'll let you install it. And as soon as I start seeing what the flaws, like, well, how do I get rid of this? Well, this is how I would do it. And then show them. And you can see them sit there and mess with it. And then also let them know you're going to mess up. Like, it's 100% going to happen. Do not beat yourself up about it. Like, the amount of film that I've probably scrapped in my career as I was trying to hone my craft, like, I can't expect you not to scrap it just because I'm teaching you. Like who am I to say that? Like, no, you're going to have your mistakes. The big thing is you want to dissect the reason why that mistake happened. Like, be curious, like, hold on, I creased it here. Why did this happen? Well, you had your film flipped around this way, and when you flipped it, you weren't paying attention. It pinched up there, and that's what created that crease. Okay, got it. So how you hold the film matters. Yeah, absolutely. And then you got to start messing with the film, like, to get that feel down. That's why we went after auto installers first for our class. Was an auto installer knows how to handle film. They know what a clean surface is. They know what contamination is. Like, that's half the battle right there.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take you from a curved window and rolling it up and down. I'm going to put you on a stationary, most of the time rectangle window that's a manageable size. That conversion is really easy. Like, you can get someone over to that because you can talk to them in a certain way. They know your lingo for the most part. And then just mostly it's getting the cutting down and understanding how to angle your blade to where if you want to fan a bigger gap or you want it to get as tight as possible, like, that's the next step. And then, like, understanding, all right, you got contamination here. This is the reason why you have that contamination there, and then make that alteration.
Yeah, I like when it's tough to try to teach people in comments like what they're doing wrong. And I have people all the time that they think the hardest part, and it probably is true, to tint a window, like a windshield is the shrinking part of it, which is tough. And I have people tell me that I make it look easy, and I've been doing it for 8 years, so I know what it looks like. But the biggest thing is, like, when I was learning and then crease a windshield, I would try to go back and remember, like, what did that look like before I creased it?
Yeah.
So I can go back, so I can pick it up a little bit, get some hot air under it, move it around, do whatever, rather than just sit there and just beat the film to death and keep creasing it in the same spot, you know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So that's a big thing. Like, what does it look like before it creases? Because then obviously if it starts looking like that, well, then I'm going to have to adjust something so I don't have to throw this windshield away.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think people coming into the industry that are new and young, and now they have the added advantage of having awesome content to look at, setting that expectation with them, like, hey, look, you've been watching videos that I make it look really easy, but like, that's actually 8 years in the process of me.
Right.
And I've edited it down too. So like, I'm clearly like, this takes longer to get good at than most people, I think, have an expectation of. Like, it's actually a difficult thing to get really good at. It's not going to be overnight that you can just go shrink any, a Model Y or X windshield and nail it the first time.
Yeah, I have, it's funny. Sometimes customers will watch my video and they buy their own film and try it on their own vehicle, which is cool. And then they schedule an appointment and come in. They're like, dude, try to tint it, dude. You make it look way easier than it really is.
Those are the best customers. They still have the box and the little tools that came in the box in the back of the car. Like,
yeah,
no,
I had
you
one
just do
guy.
it.
Yeah, he had the same thing. He had a little roll back there he got off Amazon in his tools. And I told him, like, I respect you for trying it, man. But like how you said, sometimes there's, like in the videos I do, I really just run the basics. I don't show you some of the little stuff I do that makes a huge difference. Like sitting there cleaning the edge of a window for, 5 or 6 swipes up and down.
Yep.
So maybe a couple times I'll just show like one little quick swipe, and that'll never be enough. I always tell people you can never clean a window too much. You're always going to keep pulling dirt out no matter where it is.
Yeah, for the longest time, when we start someone, that's the first thing they're learning to do. They're learning to prep.
Yep.
Like,
Really?
Yeah, and they're going to speed you up in the process. Like, so now it's the person you're paying to train. What's the thing that they can do immediately that's going to make the installer faster, get more film on? And it's like, we've always started with prepping. And once you master prepping, the rest becomes pretty simple. Prepping and touch up.
Yeah.
Like everything in between is really not that hard. And cutting, I think, would be that's like the next big skill if you're hand cutting, or architecturally you have to hand cut. But
Yeah, but even if you're the best cutter in the world, if you can't prep your window properly, that means nothing.
Yeah, that back to like commercial and residential tint, because I don't know a lot about the installation process. And when I started doing it, I was like, look, I mean, it's the same process. I really don't have to shrink anything. The biggest thing's probably the cuts and the quality control of cleaning it.
Yep.
And it's still in the learning process of that, because I'm nowhere where I want to be on that. I think I'm good enough to get away with it right now, but I consider myself automotive wise, I'm definitely not the best, but I think I'm pretty damn good. Commercial and residential wise, I got a lot of room to grow.
well, we got to have you come out, man.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to come out, because y'all got a pretty good setup there, just to get any tip. And that's one thing too. Some of the younger people I meet in the industry, they think I'm like, they think I can't learn anything else in the industry from anybody. Like I know everything, and that's not even close to being true.
I don't feel that way, and I've been doing this my whole damn life, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm constantly learning stuff. I've learned stuff from you. Like I've watched videos and I'm like, oh, that was kind of cool. Like, if you think you've learned it all, like, you got problems.
Yeah, and especially with PPF too, because I'm newer into PPF by myself. I went down to San Antonio and did Expel's week-long PPF class, which was great. I did a little bit of PPF before, but I didn't know, now that I'm on my own, just me, like how do I lay a full bumper by myself when there's nobody else on the other side holding it for me? And how do I tack this over here while I'm working 5 feet away on the other side of the bumper? And that's been a big learning curve, and just trying to learn all that. And there's a lot of good PPF installers too on social media that I learned from. Wish I knew the exact names of them, but I don't. But yeah, that's another big thing in the industry, is you can learn anything from anybody. Y'all know Marco. Marco's taught me a lot.
Yep.
And he's a great trainer too.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And we got to pick his brain, and like my biggest questions were like being able to pass the trade along, because like install wise, I can tint a window. Like I haven't perfected. I've gotten close to trying to perfect that, and I keep trying to achieve perfection. But like, am I good enough to pass this along to someone else? Because like the lingo and how we talk, like, oh yeah, you're gonna do this, this, and this, and I could forget probably about 10 steps that I probably need to get a little bit more in depth with, because it just comes so naturally to me. Like, mention to any average person drop roll, they're gonna look at you in the face like, what are you talking about? I got no idea. It's like, oh, okay, I have to actually. There's a reason why I have my blade angled this way. This finger is pushing down on my edge to hold the film down. Like, after it took us, I would say, me about 2 years after starting to train our own guys, that's when all of a sudden like thought of like the academy and stuff, and we ran our first class, and it was like, all right, I just want to make sure that I'm providing enough value. I'm able to actually
Transfer the knowledge.
Yes, transfer the knowledge to the next person and be able to communicate it in a way that's understandable, that that person feels like, damn, okay, I definitely got value out of this. Like I was able to pick that up, because that's a completely new craft. Like, and like talking with him, he's like, oh yeah, no, he like agreed that the tinting is different than teaching someone how to tint. But it makes you, the cool thing is, it makes you a better tinter while you're teaching people, because then you're starting to understand it even more yourself, passing it along.
Yeah, I have one really good buddy in the DFW area named Tyler. He's he does everything: automotive, flat glass, PPF, and he does it all like at the highest level. So when I first started doing PPF at the shop, I had him come in, just don't make it too hard for me. Basically tell him, dumb it down, make everything stupid for me, because that's how I learn. And it was the same thing with flat glass. The first flat glass job I did, he helped me out with it. Grateful that he did. And just telling him, because I know it's window tint. I know how to tint a window, but it's completely different when you're tinting, a window that's 5 feet by 6 feet, and you got to lay it all clean, no creases, get it on the window the way you're supposed to.
When you start getting into those older homes, that's where it's like, it's hard to train that, because that's just experience. Same like older vehicles. When you first start tinting, you're doing all the new vehicles, then you say you get like a old muscle car in. It's the same, but there are some tweaks you have to make along the way. The prepping process is extended much longer if you want it to come out cleanly. But yeah.
And I feel like if you've been doing automotive long enough, you've had to, because a new model comes out or a car you've never done before, you kind of have to be able to learn on the fly and experiment and try something, and it works or it doesn't work, and maybe you're using another piece of film. It's the same thing with flat glass. You're going to have a lot of windows that's the same thing over and over again, and then you're occasionally going to come across a curveball that's like, okay, you got to think about this for a second. And now it's kind of an experiment. Like, all right, I'm going to try to do it this way. And sometimes it's like, bam, okay, that worked. And then that's another tool in the tool belt to bring the next time you come across that. Like, okay, cool, I know one way to do that.
Yeah, that's how I felt getting into flat glass. You know, the commercial jobs I'm doing right now, it's got the seal around it. You pop that seal out, makes everything 100 times easier.
So yeah, like that's crazy because it took us a long time to even hear from somebody else that like, you guys aren't pulling the seals? Like, oh, wait, what? And then as soon as we start doing it, it's like, what the hell have we been doing all these years, man? Like that makes a commercial window butchering 100 times easier.
Butchering rubbers, that's what we were doing.
Yeah,
I've done that. I swear to you, I've almost cut a quarter out of a car one time. That's why I don't cut. That's why, some people cut the rubber around a quarter makes it easier. Dude, I will not touch it.
Yeah.
So when we first started learning, so for me it was probably like early 2000s. Like having the rubber gasket, or how I was trained is like trim it, but like you have to have that baby touch of just barely trimming it off. And then eventually every once in a while you'll see a car come in that's been tinned that you're removing film on, and you see like a 1/4 inch cut off, and it's like that's only there to help it slip underneath. But as soon as they came out with better tools like the Easy Reach and stuff like the thinner cards, then now it's definitely at a point where as long as you're cleaning behind that rubber and you're able to get that separation with your blade, you really don't have to cut them anymore. But it was like almost that was the technique at the time. And then with the tools coming out and the rubber's changing too a little bit here and there, it did get to the point where it's like, no, you don't have to. There are techniques now to just slide it behind the rubber and make it disappear.
Yeah, that's what I do. I take my microfiber and like my tri-edge, and I'll just sit there and open up those gaps, and then a little extra slip in my bottle to get it back behind there.
Yep.
But there is nothing more frustrating when I do like a Camry or Corolla that I did that video on 2011. You know, the one with the real tibby point of it over there that's tight. Man, the one I did, the passenger side, the one I didn't record, thankfully, dude, I butchered that thing like crazy. Probably 3 creases up top. Just didn't have enough slip in it because you got to get it in there and move it around. So.
Oh yeah, no. I beat myself up a year and a half ago. It was the first time I competed at WFR, and I jumped on a team with somebody because I was able to get into all the competitions and go for the Ironman. So I was in auto and then team auto, and I was on Les Helton and Rick Talman's team. And like I was like, what do you guys want me to do? You invited me on your team. Use me how you want. They're like, just do the 2/4 windows. I was like they already had a whole thing where one person was prepping, the other person was cutting, like just knock the 1/4 windows out. I've never struggled so much through 2/4 windows in my damn life. And they were just rubber seal. Like every time I get in, all of a sudden, big piece of contamination. And it's like, if I can't pull off these 2/4 windows, I got so in my head about it that like one turned out really good. The other one, I went through my last piece of film, realizing I think I picked up someone's film from the other side. So I put it up there. The shade was the same, but you can see the coloring difference. And as soon as I squeegeed it, like the glue started smearing. It's a film I never worked with, so my slip was completely off, and I was just like, how did I just choke? I had an hour to do 2/4 windows. I couldn't even pull that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. If they would have told me 2/4, I'd have been like, boys, I don't know. You might want me to jump on a side tool, man. Yeah, the quarters. I think the quarters are the toughest part, especially when it's all rubber around it.
Yeah,
it's funny growing up, and like we were always training when our dad was letting us tint when we were younger. 1/4 windows, bathroom windows, all the little stuff. Like you don't realize it at the time, but we were starting on the hard stuff, and then all of a sudden you go from the little 18 by 18 inch bathroom window that just will not tack and is just a massive pain in the ass, and you finally get to tint a 3x5, and you're like, oh, this is actually like easy.
Yeah. You finally go up. That's what I was when I bring employees on. If I'm gonna train them, I was gonna put them on quarters first.
Yep. That's what we do. It's prepping and then quarters.
Yeah.
It's changed a couple of times before because now we're thankfully we're able to have we have an auto manager now where he cuts all the cars. Right before we started that whole thing, when we brought the new person on, we would teach them how to cut patterns because at least they're getting hands on film rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, yes, now you get the prep process. As soon as you get to the prep process down to where I can just walk up and stick a window, and like I'm going to double check it, I'm just going to tint it, and we're going to see how it's going to come out. And if you miss some glue on the side, all right, then you're not ready yet. But as soon as I got to the point where I was able just to start slapping film on the windows and there's nothing in the windows, it's all right, obviously you're prepping it well. Then it's like, yeah, all right, now you got to tackle the quarter windows. And then we'd move to a door, and then it would be shrinking in a back window.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm going to put you on the quarters to begin with, because that is like, if I can get you to get those done, the standard I need, like, you're going to save me so much time and frustration. And then also, as soon as you move on to the next window, you're going to be like, oh, all right, this is way easier than that quarter window was.
Yeah.
So put them through hell to begin with, and then they get to the easier stuff. That's when, they realize like, oh, like I see why you did this.
Well, and not all quarter windows are hell either. So sometimes they are speeding you up by like, an SUV, the back, like a Tahoe or something, where it's just black matrix, like okay, those are windows that I don't have to waste my time on, that they'll actually be able to do pretty quickly. And there's factory tint on there. Even if there is a little bit of dust or contamination, nobody's ever going to see it.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
it's like, yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah,
Customer ain't gonna look at that.
I think I know our dad did it. I need to do it more when we don't have anybody in training right now on the flat glass side. But if you're on a job and you're doing a couple bedrooms, you're not doing the whole house, and there's like a closet window or a bathroom window that isn't even on the project, like ask the customer, like, hey, I got this guy I'm training. I know our dad did it with us. Like, hey, do you mind if I let them do that window for you? I'll just throw it in. And if they've already done all their prepping and everything else they need to do, now they're getting a lick at the window on the job site. That's kind of part of why we did the academy too, is like, those only happen every so often, and you don't want to be asking every customer if someone can practice on their house. So now we've got the facility not only to train other people, but our guys can get reps in the academy.
Yeah.
We can train them through faster.
Yeah, we I don't want to say what hotel, because I don't know if the deal's going to go through, but we're talking to a hotel about doing some flat glass with them up here, because I want to come back to Vegas without SEMA or F1, because I think it probably is a completely different experience.
Yes.
And I'd like to come back up here and come up with y'all and do flat glass or whatever training y'all have, just to get
sure.
extra tips in.
Oh,
Yeah.
love
We'll
that.
talk after this. We'll figure it
Definitely
out.
talk.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out. We'll let you know the dates and everything. We can figure something out.
Cool.
Yeah, because that was with like when we started designing it, we have a commercial bay, so at least show pull gasket, put gasket back in.
Mhm.
And then you have your standard, like I think it's about a 30 by 4 sliding window. And then we have one wall that is just filled with pretty much all the bathroom windows you could possibly think of. A single pane window, and then a small sliding one that's only 6 inches by like 20 inches tall, to where through the entire academy, there's 22 windows.
Damn.
To where it's now we've even gotten to the point where I haven't put my guys through it because they were already trained before we did this. But when I do bring someone new in, it used to be always like kind of like a time serve thing. You're there for a year, usually about 8 months to 12 months is usually where the window you get into commission. Just because we didn't have those windows, you have to go out and prep enough, and then we start letting you install, and then get past the point where you're scrapped film. Now you're not scrapping film anymore. All right, you're ready to go on commission. Let's push you out there. Now we can just put them in the academy. I can run them through there for a couple of days, then send them out to start helping the guys. Then it's pretty much like, hey, do all 22 windows, do it in 4.5 hours, to where if you're doing it in 4.5 hours, and especially like entry level, like you're going to scrap a window or two, I'm okay with it as long as it's being scrapped for the right reason. And if after I go through there and at 4.5, you say you're done, you just walk in the customer's house, out the customer's house. You finish in 4.5 hours, and there's nothing left behind that's going to get a call back. So no over contamination, excess water, crease, cut off corner. Yeah, like as soon as you do that, all right, you're on commission. So you will progress as fast as you want. And then as you bring that time down, like, hey, I want to test them to the next pay level. Have at it, let's set it up, and then let them go. And if they do it in the next, 4 hours, 3.5 hours, all right, your pay is going to go up because you're putting the time in to make yourself better. And you have access to those windows. Like we've got plenty of scrap film where just, if you want to go practice.
Mm-hmm.
To where if you want to improve your pay and move up the ladder, it's completely on you.
Yeah. So you go up as much as the person's willing to, as quickly as they're willing to.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
And then
I like
the other
that.
cool trick we learned for cutting, because cutting, you even mentioned corners, that took us forever to figure out is, you don't want to burn through a ton of film, right? But you can take one piece of film on a window, do everything like you normally would to tint the full window, prep it, drop a pattern, start it. But now instead of cut the whole window, maybe just cut one side, a corner, and the bottom immediately pull it back, wet it, bump it an inch, set it again. Practice that cut. You can practice that cut 10, 20, 30 times with one piece of film.
Yeah.
Rather than having to only get a chance to cut, 3 cuts a window every 20 minutes or however long you're taking to do a whole window and scrapping a giant piece of film. Like maybe take one pass at that type of window frame. It's just practicing cutting those corners and getting that corner cut right with one piece of film.
Yeah.
And that took us forever to figure out. And I think it was something we learned from someone else. Yeah.
That was Carlos.
Yeah.
He made a video about it.
I think it's probably also me being probably way too hard on myself.
That's good though. Gotta keep quality high.
When I make a cut, I look at it, I'm like, shit, dude.
Yeah,
what is that?
The average customer probably not going to notice what you're noticing.
And that's my girlfriend tells me that a lot. Like I did our house before I actually started to offer flat glass. And the first window I did, I stepped back and I was like, that looks terrible, man. And my girlfriend came and she's like, what? I don't see anything. I'm like, okay, good. Maybe that is good. Maybe I'm just being too hard.
That's the best place to practice, though. If you don't have a training facility, your own home, a family member's home, a friend, whoever. Like that's where we tell our guys to start too. Like even if we don't have them to the point that they're tinting, like hey, if you want some tint, and you want to go practice on your house after hours. Like before we had the academy, that was always the rule. Like you can go practice at home.
Yeah, and that's like when we've ran the class now. It's like that's the one thing. They're like, hey, what do you think? I'm looking at. I'm like, I would have you go install for me right now. Are you going to be as fast as my installer? No, but he's got a couple years on you. But you are putting work out, because that was like the next question we had at this previous class is like, well, what value would you put on this install? I'm like, the same as what I'm charging. If my guy produced that window, you're not getting a call back. Yes, I'm going to be stupidly critical and I'm going to circle this thing. Like I'm going to judge it 2 ways. I'm going to tell you, I would leave this. It's customer presentable. Just make sure everything's wiped up and you're good. And then if you want me to be overcritical of it, I'll go through with the marker and I'll pick out what I see. But I'm going to tell you all the stuff I'm marking right now, no one's going to see. Mm-hmm. I see it because I've been looking at it for the last 20 years. But you're like these last two, like by the time they're done, like the tint is still on the windows of the shop. And like I went through the other day and looked at it and I was like, oh, dude, they're ready to go. Like they were able to get through like the first day. They have a couple things they have to get by getting started on cuts and then mess with the blade a little bit on the sides. And it's just like, you guys can go right now, go back, implement everything we just taught you, and you'll be able to do installs. Like all of this is acceptable. Like you're going to beat yourself up. Don't stop doing that. But letting you know right now, like that's an acceptable window. Stop thinking that it's got to look like you're at a competition and you're having guys that have been in the industry 20 years going through your window like a microscope. Like these are the key points you want to make sure you avoid to stop the customer from ever trying to get to that point. You know, don't leave a corner too shy. Make sure it's not a crease or extreme amount of water in the window. If you give them the reason to look through it, just like on a car, if you give them a reason to look, they're going to look at it, not through it. And if you know what your standard is on a car, just translate that to the house. It's the exact same thing, but in the house, they're even more lenient. People care way more about their cars than they do their house, which funny. Is the craziest thing.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah, and set the right expectation. Like if it's a dark film, you gotta set the expectation in the sales process that there's gonna be a blade width gap around the edges. Now, what's gonna draw somebody's eye to that gap more than anything isn't the fact that there is one; it's that it changes. Like that's something I think matters.
Like the size.
Yeah, like even consistent gap all the way.
Yeah.
If it fades to no gap at the bottom, they're gonna then point at the top and say, "Well, why is there a gap there and there's not one there?" Like I'm gonna if that happens, before anybody can see it as I'm working on it, I'm bleeding that back up from the bottom to the top and making it even. You know, that you don't need no gap. You just need to set the right expectation and then have an even light gap if there is going to be one. Because some window frames, there's going to be one. Like that's how it's going to go on cleanly. And there can be a speck of dust here or there. There can't be a cluster of dust somewhere. Even if you card it out, it's going to catch someone's eye. And then maybe you'll get lucky. And where that does happen is up at the very top of a window where you know you're about to snap the blinds back in. Nobody is ever going to see that little speck up there because the blinds are about to be in front of it. Like there is stuff you can get away with. Do you want to minimize as much as possible? Yes. But
I don't even say get away with them. It doesn't sound bad. It's more likely there is a standard set where you know what the standard is, to where it's like what we're doing is aftermarket. Like I can't stand. Well, I shouldn't say that, but they're like, well, it happens more in auto than flat. But like we'll have like a teenager come in with their car and like they'll point out like 3 specs in a window. I'm like, And I have to talk with him like, well, my dad got his car tinted over here, and I don't see anything in his windows. And it's like, bring that car to me.
Yeah.
And watch what I'm going to do. Or if you want to go there, it's fine. Go there. Get it stripped, get it tinted, bring it back to me. If I find nothing in the windows, I'll refund your money and I'll pay for that tint job. And no one's taken me up on that. Or if they tried, they got the second tint job and realized, oh, damn, I just wasted a bunch of money. Because perfection doesn't exist. You always try to achieve it, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I have one video ready to go. Basically saying that, talking to customers saying like, look, nothing's ever going to be perfect. Window tint is something that isn't, like you said, you're supposed to strive to tint a perfect window, but you're never going to tint a perfect window. There's always going to be something in the film. And that's where, there's some customers that see one little thing and they're like, oh, look at this, man, we got to fix this. And then you retint it. Well, that little speck of dust is going to be somewhere else now.
Yeah.
So,
every time.
Possibly with a second or third piece.
Yeah.
You just actually brought something up that made me think of content that how much would you pay me for this window? What's it worth right now? That I kind of want to now steal from something I've seen in another trade. Have you ever seen the videos of the Welding Academy? They're constantly putting videos up of training people how to do welding, and then they'll have a video that's like showing the person in training, and then like they'll go to the person doing it after they've been trained and be like, all right, so I'd pay $30 an hour for that weld. Like that would actually be a cool like format to mimic.
Yeah.
When we're running classes.
Yeah, saying like, oh, I would pay you this much for this weld, like that deal.
Yeah.
And you're saying to implement that in like training classes?
Yeah, like when we at the end of the class when we're like grading their work, like, hey, I'd pay however many dollars per square foot when pop up the dollar amount of how much that window would pay. Yeah. Like you just did this window in 10 minutes. I'd pay $2 a square foot. You just made $50 or whatever the number is.
You could do it both ways. You could do it what you would pay an installer or pay them to be an installer, or what you would charge for that window, which, to be honest, it's going to be very hard for me to come off the price that at least we're charging, because we're lucky enough to where right now we're between like $18 to $25 a square foot for dual reflective. And like that was the one thing they were asking, like, what do you think I could get for my window? I'm like, I'm telling you right now, like if I were like, your install looks like if one of my guys installs it right now. The difference is you probably took about twice as long to do it. That's the only difference. Like if you think like that my guys are putting up windows that don't have the speck here and there, or the little water at the bottom that you had to sit there and dry out and took you a little longer, it's just they know how to get past those things faster now. And it's just they're making more per hour than you, but it's not going to change the price I'm charging my customer. But definitely could break it down that way to where this I would pay a sub this much per hour for how long it took you and how it turned out. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
It popped in my head because we're talking to you. I'm just thinking like I'm always looking at your content, trying to think of ideas.
Yeah, that's what it's kind of funny. Once I post a video, I really don't scroll social media all that much. Like sure, like if I'm bored, I'll sit there on my phone and do whatever. But I rarely will like get on there and just sit down like some people and just sit there all day and just go and go and go. And that could be part of me trying to run a business and doing videos and have my hand in 20 different hats. But
it's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I occasionally find myself like, because I've got my IG. I'm not on TikTok very much, but on IG I've got my account and then I've got the ability to hop on the shop's account. So when I do that, mostly what I'm getting on there is because we're following everybody in the tint industry that we possibly can. So my feed has a lot of tint content in there, and it's like I want to see what other people are doing and just kind of get ideas from it. Mainly.
Oh yeah, I'd be lying if I was saying that we saw multiple of your videos. I'm like, all right, we need to make something like this because obviously that's working. Now let's do our own spin instead of. Like you said, the companies there, let me just screen record your video.
Dude, I see there are some people out there that like I'll see their tinting video and I'm watching it and I'm like, dude, I'll be damned if this ain't my video in this guy's bay. Like every clip, cut for cut,
cut for cut,
everything, like my
I'm
whole
looking at
edit.
The style. I'm not going to clip that. Second.
I've done that before when I was still making a lot of the flat glass content. 2-3 years ago, but not from another tinner, because I didn't feel bad about this. There was like a Simon Sinek audio that was playing, and this dude's doing plumbing, and the video's going viral. I'm watching it go viral. Like it's getting crazy views and the engagement on it's going crazy. And I liked the audio of Simon Sinek talking about like two guys are chopping wood all day and one leaves for an hour to go, disappears and comes back. At the end of the day, he always cuts more than the guy that doesn't leave. So the first guy goes like, where do you go every day? Oh, I go to sharpen my axe. And I was like, oh, cool. That was like a cool little story from Simon Sinek. This plumber made this go viral. Like, so I literally screenshot his video, pulled it into CapCut on my phone while we're on a job, and I'm waiting for a contractor to come meet up with us. And I found where all the cuts were, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, like 3.1 seconds, 4. Whatever.
You timed them out?
I timed them all out. And then I literally just took the clips I recorded of us doing this exterior install and imported them all in. And then, okay, this first clip, I'm going to take 3.1 seconds of it. Where's the best 3.1 seconds? And then I found the spots where like there was one of him making a cut, and I sped the video up just enough to where it was for however many seconds to the cut ending. And like, it took me 5-10 minutes on the job site to just go through this process, mimic the guy's video. He's not a tinter, so I'm not like completely copying somebody else's tint video, and then posted it with that same exact audio that's got another video going viral right now. And boom, that video just took off like crazy. And was like, oh, cool, that worked.
Yeah, I kind of did the same. Now, I didn't time out cuts like that. That's kind of crazy, but no.
Well, because I know that the rhythm of how it's being cut matters.
No, it does. And
that's grabbing people's attention. And he had already figured out where it made sense for the audio that was being played also. So it's like, I'm just going to exactly mimic this. And we're not plumbing, so it doesn't. I don't think he's gonna feel any way about it.
That's like the one guy I started watching a lot before I started doing videos. He was on TikTok. I don't know if his name's still on it. Might be his personal name now, but he was the sign guy, and he's in California, and he makes a bunch of custom signs, and they're really cool. And he would do like these ASMR style videos that were super satisfying, and that's kind of where I got the idea. Like, I should do an ASMR style tinting video. And then back to your saying like audio. It's funny, like I always like to put like soft jazz in my videos. I find it super relaxing. I actually listen to like old school soft jazz, like Chet Baker, one of my favorite, I guess, musician, you could say. Like, I'll sit there in the morning, wake up, pot of coffee going, put a little slow jazz on, and just sit there and, marinate in that music. That sounded kind of weird. I don't marinate in the music, but but I love to listen to it a lot. And that's where same thing, like I'll see a video clip for clip, just like mine, everything timed up. And the audio is like this nice little lo-fi, like chill beat. And I'm like, damn, dude, you completely just ripped what I'm running. And I wish everybody would do videos, because I think, one, it's important for the industry. Two, it's important for the person to build their own brand, kind of like how I did. Not to try to boost myself up, but that is what I did. But you got to find your own niche. You got to find your own style and what works for you, because my style doesn't work for everybody. So I just think if I think people would have more success if they did their own style videos. Not saying that it's not going to look like mine, because it probably will. We're both tinting windows. It is what it is. But yeah, that one video I saw cut for cut with a nice little soft jazz beat going to it. That was like, damn.
Yeah. Well, it works for you because it's authentic. Like you're the one editing it. You pick the sound of something that you mess with. And so I feel like any content, the more authentic it is and not a copy, the better.
Yeah, I think that's a good word for it. Authentic. Yeah. Because I've had people tell me that, like, my videos are authentic. Like, I'll tint a window, but I'll sit there and do something stupid or say something stupid and make it funny. And that's, like, people say, like, that's just my style. That's what I roll with. Yep. And that, like you said, it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah, well, you're branding you. So if you put yourself out there, then you're not lying. So then when they actually meet you, it's not like, oh, this doesn't match what I just saw. This is exactly what I expected.
Yeah, and that's why I was glad to sit down and talk, because looking on videos, when I worked in the Fusion booth, when people come up there, like, I just want people to know, like, I'm just a guy that honestly got lucky and got views and followers on social media. But, like, I don't look at people and, like, oh, you only have 21,000 followers? Dude, don't even come over here and talk to me. I'm way better than you. Like, that's not what I try to put myself out there as. I think it's all equal. And I was the lucky one that was grateful enough with, I got a religious belief, and I'm grateful that I was allowed to be blessed with the opportunity to grow the industry and myself at the same time.
Oh, and don't discount your like being dedicated and being consistent. Like a lot of people think like, oh, I can do this for like a week or two, and then all of a sudden like, oh, it's not working for me. This is useless. It's like, no, you got to stay consistent at it, get the reps at it. Like your videos have progressively with your editing, I've gotten better and better. Like, and you're consistent with what you do.
Yeah, and I definitely had those times where when I was first starting, I'd post a video and it got 20,000 views, and I'm sitting there like, yes, like this is it. This is the climax of everything. I'm going to post tomorrow. It's going to get 40,000. And then I post tomorrow and it's like 2,000 views. And I'm like, damn, dude, there it goes. Like that was it.
Yeah. No, well, the funny thing is like, how long would it take you to get in front of 2,000 people and show them what you do?
Yeah,
I see. Like, the people like get the numbers all messed up in their head. Like you don't have to have a video that reaches tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of videos to still be impactful. Like you don't need one right person could be the person that all of a sudden now you're doing a giant commercial building. That could come from a video with 100 views, right? So the numbers, I think, sometimes mess people up from continuing with it in social media.
Yeah.
Like they post stuff and it's like, oh, I'm only getting hundreds. And then they comparisons, the thief of joy. They see your videos and there's somebody else's and it's getting millions or hundreds of thousands. And I'm like, well, why am I even doing this? Like, no, you're missing the point. Just do it and you'll get better at it. And eventually you'll find your audience. Like it just the consistency part, I think, is the part that people just don't want to wait for it.
Yeah. The one thing I cannot do is like sit down and record. Like I've had customers ask, like, can I watch you record? Then I get nervous. I like lock up. I'm like, dude, I don't know, probably not, man. I don't know what I would do. And kind of like you said, like if you put me in front of 500 people, dude, I could not sit there and make the same video that I make. I'd be there sweating bullets. I'd be shaking. Even like doing something like this, like with 3 cameras in front of us talking, like even walking over here, I was like, shit, man. I was like, this is it, dude. Damn.
Well, hopefully it felt comfortable. We try to like ignore it. So.
Yeah, no, I do. And it's cool to sit down here and talk with y'all because I've seen y'all's videos, and it's what I just try to get everybody to know. Like it's just people, man. And like talking is a huge thing in any industry, or I guess just a lifestyle of anything. Just sitting down and talking could be a part of the problem in the world today that everybody has, is that nobody will just talk and listen to each other. But I guess
couldn't agree more.
That's just what it is.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good spot to end it. I think we're running out of time.
Cool.
But yeah.
I appreciate y'all, man, a ton.
No, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming and sit down. And again, thank you for everything you have done for our industry, because again, you're shining a bigger light on our industry, which that makes everything grow. Because I mean, we've had the same problem probably for the entire time that I can remember the industry. It's always a labor problem and people don't know they can do it, or we just get labeled as we are one thing, usually alcoholic, druggy, something like that. And it's where it's like people kind of look down upon it. But now with all these people shining a light in our industry and pushing it out there, it's completely changed our industry.
Mm-hmm.
So really do appreciate that, man.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it means a
definitely
lot.
need to talk and have you come out for sure.
Yeah, we'll get some content that way too.
Where can they find you?
Instagram, Caden August. YouTube, Caden August Official. TikTok, S3 Window Tinting.
All right, guys.
Check them out.
Check them out. Until next time.
Cool, boys.
Thank you.